Jason joins us shortly. Jeff Saturday and Sam Macho are here. I'm Wendi Nix. It was certainly a weekend, that's for sure. And the fallout continues on this Monday afternoon. And Mort, I'll go 2019. He leads the NFL in a number of rushing to just absorb and move on. You have to move on and play, but this is going to take a group effort. What does this loss exactly mean for the Titans?
Well, this is the best football player that's not a quarterback in the NFL. A committee and a lot of really good committee members to make this thing up, bro.
Raise your hand if you want to volunteer.
Dang.
Whew.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jeff. And I think on a different perspective, it changes the way that defenses game plan anybody else in that division, specifically the Colts.
Listen, it makes so much sense, right? So much energy, so much time have to be spent on where is Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
Where is he? How am I going to stop it? All of a sudden, that's off the table. His workload, by the way, also off the table or off the charts this season. 219 rushes, the most by a player in his team's first 8 games in NFL history. So we're not just saying that. If you look at the historical numbers, I mean, this guy will be mid-2022 draft in exchange for Miller as well. All right, where do you want to start with this one, Sam? Like it, don't like it?
Man, this one gets me fired up. This one gets me so fired up for so many reasons. When he just took the ball from Cam Newton, like that's the stuff that this player does. And so this is a huge deal. We all understand it's a huge deal. But
chips all in on the table here.
There ain't no doubt. The Rams are all in. Like they're not messing around. They are putting in. They're going to try to win the Super Bowl this year. And Von Miller's going to.
Yeah, and you talk about the Rams being all in.
Good things happen when you win, and they got star power in spades at this point.
Yes, and just one more quick point. Like we talk about the Derrick Henry effect, and that's a real thing. I would say is there may be 2 teams that could hold them up offensively, right, from offensive line perspective. Maybe Tampa Bay and maybe Dallas.
Yes.
Outside of that, everybody else is dumb.
Again, it goes back to that preparation, just makes you want to pull your hair out. Like, how are we going to do this? We got that one, we got that one, we got that one. Von Miller has been selected to 8 Pro Bowls since entering the league in 2011, tied for the most for any defensive player during that span. You got to account for this guy as well. So big stories in the NFL. He's coming back for the money in this particular case, Ward. Listen, Sean Payton may very well mean that today. It's not static, right? It's fluid. There could be a different situation in 2 weeks and 3 weeks. So where do you think the Saints are right now, Jeff, with the loss?
I believe Sean Payton said. I think he's very comfortable with it. He's earned that in the NFL, so I think he's speaking his mind.
Yeah, really, I think he is. And I would go back to.
I'm telling you, I've said this for years. The guys in your locker room give you.
Noted. Jeff Saturday said he doesn't need a map. He still doesn't know.
We don't need no maps, More.
We don't need no maps. According to our FBI, the Bucs have an 82% chance to win the NFC South. They also have the second best chance to win the Super Bowl behind only the Buffalo Bills. But I digress. That's a whole nother conversation. All right. Said another way, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
Which is what we like to see. Who's your best team in the AFC?
Buffalo Bills. I mean, listen, they're the most consistent. Yeah, the most consistent team.
We don't know who the best team in the AFC is
right
now.
It's ugly.
That's the thing. Like, in fact, every week it's a new team. Remember a couple weeks, best team, because any of those teams.
That was kind of a cop-out.
Well,
no, it's not. That's the fact. No, because you're talking about. You said the Bills. It wasn't the Bills. Last week it was the Titans.
The Bills just won. They just won.
Last week it was the Titans. It's going to be a different team next week.
He did give an answer, Sam.
Yeah.
You're making me go out your mind.
No. Be a different team.
You're making me out your mind.
Yeah, speaking of things that made me go out your mind, we're going to talk about the plays that made me go out.
She's a rockin' Elwood. You know I love your wife.
Elwood.
She's a rockin' Elwood.
And the real dog. That's
the real dog.
For me, that's 10 out of 10. That's out your mind. You can talk.
Okay.
Forget top plays.
Let me just say this. This will be okay, clearly, but this is hard. This is a real person, a big change, and especially if it was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, listen, when you people say that professional sports is about money, that ain't about money, folks. That right there, that is real pain. That's real hurt in your heart. Listen, this guy, the defense rallied around him. He had people to his house every week. Like he built relationship and camaraderie on this football team for all the years he was there and absolutely played lights out for this football team. It is hard to move on. From a guy who played 13 years in one place, I can tell you it hurts your heart when you have to move on.
Yeah, and especially coming off of a big win. They had a big win. You're trying to rally your team. Like all the momentum's in your favor. Then you just get blindsided. I feel for Von. Obviously, these are real emotions. He's going to go to L.A. and he's going to kind of get reacclimated. But it's tough right now.
Absolutely.
It's really tough.
Well, it's just he's synonymous, too, with that team. It'll take a minute. We'll get used to it, but it'll take a minute. But, again, that trade expected to be finalized shortly. Time now to put a bow on
sports. When somebody just scoops it and takes it yard on you, it just hurts your heart, hurts your soul.
Let's recap what has been an incredibly busy afternoon. Derrick Henry, we now know, out for the season. Huge loss for the Titans.
Yeah, again, the best player that's not a quarterback in the NFL. To lose this for the Titans, a Super Bowl contender and a team that's as hot as anybody in the NFL, devastating news.
Jameis Winston, also out.
Yeah, also devastating news. You just found a way to win, even though he got injured. Now you find out he's out for the season. It's got to be tough for the Saints.
And finally, you heard from an emotional Von Miller. He will move on, likely to the LA Rams, a trade that I think seemed like it surprised him. But,
Absolutely.
Certainly formidable defense.
Big time for the Rams, though. This thing, I think, puts them up in that upper echelon. They were already there. I think it puts them over the top because of that three-man rush that can get after people.
Over the top. 24 hours less than to the NFL trade deadline. NFL Live up next with the latest.